Welcome back. Now, the war against corruption has been, let me use a word that somebody used, has been raging. They've been waging the war against corruption. How effective is left to several people to have their own interpretations about the effectiveness of it. But then we're looking at the role of the media in the war against corruption. The Nigerian press must remain committed to the defense of the rule of law. This is the interest of the country, but it must be careful enough to avoid or create a situation in which the fight against public corruption is unwittingly turned into a fight against the government. Also, the federal government has vowed not to relent in its battle against corruption, saying the anti-graft campaign is crucial to the survival of the nation. Now, the Minister of Information has had several meetings with media practitioners, both online and, how do you call us now? Is it primary media? I'm not sure the name they call us, those of us that are out here. Then they are the ones online.
Okay.
Okay, whatever they call us. Okay, traditional, mainstream media, then the online media. Okay, the Minister of Information has met with these various groups, but let's look at what role the media can play or has played or is playing in this anti-graft one. We have to help us look at this. Chido Wakama, media scholar. Thank you for coming. Also here's Dr. Martin Wayangu, President, Leadership Watch.
Thank you very much.
And Kazim Akinreti, Assistant Director, News Voice of Nigeria. Thank you for coming.
It's a pleasure being here. Thank you.
Gentlemen, it's good to have you all here. So let me fire the first question. Some people feel that the media has a way of adding things to the news that are not meant to be part of the news.
To make it sensational.
To make it...
So that they can sell.
Yes. But is that true?
Not necessarily. The media have a duty, they're a business in the first place. When you present the news...
Stop. They're a business.
Yes.
Business for themselves or business for the nation? You know, remember they're called the fourth realm, fourth estate of the realm. So are they in business for themselves or for the nation?
They are in business for themselves, but
for the benefit of.
For the benefit of citizens. And this distinction between business for themselves or for the good of the public came in America with the job of the Hutchins Commission that defined the social responsibility theory that says the media has a duty to look beyond its pecuniary gains to serve the public interest. And in Nigeria, our constitution in section 2, chapter 22, defines this role, that the media has a duty of holding government accountable to the citizens. It's a constitutional role. So how they do it, sometimes those headlines serve to draw attention. Sometimes they could be, the problem arises where they are outrightly misleading. But if they are correctly reported, then there is really no issue. But you have to use devices and techniques to draw attention to this news that you want the reader to see and learn from.
Sorry, when you say devices and techniques to draw attention,
yes,
can that also be confusing to those reading it?
If it is not done properly, yes, it can be confusing. But in majority of the cases, the media has been fair. They have done it correctly. You would say up to 80–90% of the cases. The few instances where you have headlines that are misrepresentative of the body of the story are the ones that people are complaining about, and they have a right to complain. But the majority of newspapers, their headlines, their stories on radio and TV represent the news that they carry.
It's mainly in the rag sheets you find screaming headlines that sometimes have no bearing on the body of the story. Now, Mr. Kinreti, in what way do you think that the media can help in this fight against corruption?
Well, the media can help quite a lot. I agree with my colleague when he was looking at the social responsibility of the media. But there are three variables on that social responsibility that we need to take note of. One has to do with the surveillance correlation with the environment. The two has to do with continuity, and the third one is mobilization. You could see that within these three elements, the Nigerian media has been fair enough in terms of presenting some of these issues. Now, we correlate what is happening, survey, put it in context with what's going on in the environment, and that's how you see some of those headlines about anti-graft war and so on and so forth. You also need to do continuity in terms of just hitting it hard every now and then, so that those who do not hear will hear, those who could not see will see, and so that we can take in an instant what we could call steps. The continuity of it is that it must continue to be within the radar, so that someone there will really know that, yes, the change matter, fine, we are moving on. But what elements that we need to move along, that we need to do it. But beyond all that, I say fairly because I use that word adversarially, knowing fully well that the challenges within the media itself is quite horrendous. But beyond all that, we've proved to say, yes, we are resilient, we are vibrant, and we're really moving on.
Do you think that there's enough investigative journalism going on? Not just reporting.
Yeah, that is exactly what I think about that continuity aspect. Yes,
corruption,
it's absolutely fine.
Said.
Yes, I think after the death of Dele Giwa, the zeal for that investigative journalism in Nigeria seems to have actually really died down, because there's also a cost towards that. You want to investigate, but where also the media itself is also on trial is a major challenge. Where also you find a situation where the media, those who are working there, are not adequately compensated, taken care of. That is a major challenge. How many media houses do pay salaries as at when due? That's an issue. So how many media houses has funds for that investigate for special projects? It's not a one-day thing. You need to commit resources. How many of those media organizations can stay afloat now under this, a business environment? How many of those media organizations itself has a definite role on what they're going to do about social responsibilities? Many of the media houses in Nigeria are owned by politicians and businessmen. Those who are really journalists who own the media, you could see what really happened. They are also joining the other way around. That is going to be, let us make our money. So it's so unfortunate. Good example is this day newspaper. He has been a journalist, and he said that the money he got, he said he put the money in hydrocarbon company. Whereas you have these days, it is the main stable that earns you all that reputation, and you are owing them salaries. You want also to talk about AIT. Could all the money he has made, he couldn't also pay up salaries of the workers. Do you expect those journalists there to go extra mile and deliver? No, certainly. Let's be realistic. I can say that comfortably because 25 years, I earn my own money. I have not been on salaries where I work. But it's a different scenario. Those guys who are in newspapers, who are in the private establishments, they are not finding it easy at all.
Dr. Wayo, two pictures painted here. The media as the one that holds the government accountable for the citizens. The media failing its responsibility to take care of its own so that they can carry on with what they're supposed to do, investigative journalism. But at the end of the day, the nation and its people are suffering. Is there a way around all of this?
When you say the nation and the people are suffering,
for a dearth of information, they're not getting the information they need.